since you've been a coach and social media has really progressed over time as you've been a coach, what has been, through your eyes, how has that worked in favor and against not just your players, but just in things that you've seen through your eyes? How has that played a role in their lives?
Now, are you talking about recruiting? Or are you talking about college basketball players and how they deal with social media? Or?
Both. As they try to get recruited, as they try to get scouted and move up from level to level, how they can use it positively, how you've seen it used negatively, or bad decisions that have been made, not specific examples, so to speak, but just generally speaking, what have you seen?
Okay, so I would say this about social media.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. It's out there. It's what's going on. And like it or not like it, and there are pluses and minuses, that's what's going on. So we have to be aware as coaches. So let's start first with high school people and recruiting and things like that. I want my assistant coaches to be looking for, that Instagram, that tweet, that, Facebook, that, all these things that I don't really deal with much, to be honest with you. I want them to be on top of it to find out what is this recruit doing. We're recruiting a guy right now who makes it known who else is calling him. He tweets it out. Oh, got a call from, just visited, just heard from. This guy's going to call me. Came to my practice. So it helps you. I mean, knowledge is important. So whatever information you can gather, whatever helps you to know more about this recruit, the better.
Have you ever felt turned away from or felt like you maybe didn't want to play as much as you initially thought you did once you heard about something that they posted?
Sure.
That's happened. That's a real thing.
We're always learning, and it's why if you're a high school recruit, my recommendation is be careful what you do, what you say, how you act, because somebody's evaluating you as a person, not just as a player. And you can get, as a college coach, you can get turned off by a high school recruit who might constantly be tweeting, in old-fashioned word here, but come across as though he's really bragging about things. And the reality of it is that we may have seen this player play, and after all these tweets or whatever they might be, we might say, I'm not sure this young man really has has the correct self-image of himself.
Here at Hofstra, not that you necessarily are telling your players what to tweet, but is there some sort of guidelines or maybe some advice that you give to players when they come here and they're playing for you here at Hofstra University that you try to instill in them a sort of mindset on social media?
Absolutely. And we want I think all the student athletes on campus, we try to make them aware of, we try to keep them informed and educated on the do's and don'ts of what you do with social media. People have asked me before, what team rules do you have? And my answer is we have one rule for our team, one. And here's the rule. Don't ever embarrass yourself, your family, your team, or your school. And it covers everything. That covers NCAA rules, it covers going to class, because it just covers, it encompasses everything. And that's my number one thought with that is, remember, once you hit the send button, you might be doing something wrong. You might be embarrassing yourself or your team or your family or the school. Don't do it.
Now, of course, you don't have to give me a name, but have you ever had a problem with a player on your team while here at Hofstra where they have, as you just mentioned, embarrassed themselves or a family member of the school or the team?
Well, sure. I can't imagine there's a coach that hasn't had to grab Jimmy or Sally and bring them in and say, hey, well, look, this is not appropriate. You shouldn't do this, and here's why. And sometimes it's pretty clear, and other times you just have to explain a little bit further, because I think, in fairness to all these student athletes, sometimes they don't realize how it can be received the wrong way.
Overall, do you find that using social media to try to build a brand is a positive thing, and it can actually help a player move up the ranks?
It can. Sure it can. It can help you. If you use it's like anything else in life. If you do things the right way, there is a good way to do things. Do it the right way, do it a good way, and it can be a good thing.
How much,
my opinion.
Right. How much of an impact, looking years back before social media was what is now, how much has recruiting really changed? How the dynamic of evaluating players' social media, how important is that to a coach and his coaching staff, whether it's, I mean, in high school, college, pro, semi-pro, whatever it is, to look at a player and say, we value this very, very much, or as time has gone on, has it gotten increased importance, and how would you compare it to the past?
Well, I think the answer to that question is this, that when we recruit student athletes out of high school, we're trying to turn over every rock, uncover every little thing that we can. We want to learn we want to know as much as we can about this student athlete. And social media gives us one more way to evaluate what this person's like. Maybe you're on the phone with a recruit and he seems really quiet. And then you go to social media and it's an endless series of tweets and this and that, blah, 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 blah. And you say, wait a minute, this is interesting. Not much of a talker on the phone, but boy, look at all these. What's this person really like? Because, we want somebody that's not just a, good student and a good athlete, but also somebody that's a good person. So social media gives us another avenue to evaluate what somebody's like.
So you would say by default, the recruitment process now involves automatically looking at social media, just like any other job search, possible employer outside of sports. They're evaluating what people are posting on social media. Same thing here now?
Yes.